In today's career, you get to be creative and help others express their individuality. Let's meet someone whose job requires, not to put a fine point on it, a steady hand, a tattoo artist. Hey.
Hey.
Brian.
Lindsay, nice to meet you.
Nice
Come
to
on
meet
back
you.
to my station. I'm Lindsay Tosh. I am a tattoo artist and I am in Mission, BC. As a tattoo artist, I curate and create art for people to wear on their bodies essentially forever. Someone will reach out to me and tell me their idea, and I'll either set up a consultation with them to really meet them and vibe with them, try to get on the same page of what they're really wanting to get done. Say they're wanting just a simple floral tattoo. We talk about sizing, placement. Then from there, I grab my iPad, I draw it out for them. If the person is relatively nervous about getting a tattoo, say maybe it's their first one, I will definitely send them the design. But more often than not, people know what they're getting into with me based on my portfolio. There's a form that they have to go through, make sure that they are essentially in peak physical condition, they've eaten, they've had a good sleep. Then from there, I go in and set up my station. I make sure everything's sanitized. Everything that I use is disposable other than my actual tattoo machines and the electrical side of things.
When you first started tattooing, would you be using like paper and sketchbooks to come up with your ideas?
Yeah, so if I was gonna do this on paper, I would just draw a very, again, preliminary sketch, but obviously it wouldn't be symmetrical. So then I would fold the piece of paper in half, perfect the one side that I liked the most, and then keep it folded and trace it with either a light board or tracing paper so that it was perfectly symmetrical. With being able to do it on an iPad and having this symmetry feature, it negates all that. It's wonderful to be able to have one thing, portable, eco-friendly, take it anywhere.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's great. Tattooing is a little bit different in the sense that it is fairly unregulated education-wise. There's no tattoo school, but I did go to university for art, and there is a lot of things that I learned in university that I still use to this day. Composition and how art in itself is gonna work with translating it into tattooing. I did my bloodborne pathogens, which goes through the safeties of using needles. Nurses take this same program. It's a fairly basic program, but it is stuff that still needs to be gone over and kept up to date. The kind of rule of thumb in the industry is any apprenticeship is 2 years. That's a guarantee for the mentor to get back what they put in. That's them saying, I'm gonna give you this free education and this platform to have an amazing career. You're gonna give me 2 years of helping around the shop. I was really, really fortunate in starting to tattoo people really, really quickly. I was really excited to tattoo, so my timeline was not tattooing anything other than grapefruits for, I think it was 2 or 3 months. And then I started tattooing like family and friends for free, obviously just to get the feel of tattooing actual people. As I progressed and picked it up, I graduated to higher pricing, and if you're not drawing enough, if you're not bringing in enough people to practice on, if you're not willing to be at the shop at all hours of your spare time, you're not gonna get any better. If you're just gonna show up and kind of do the bare minimum, that's kind of where you're gonna stay. The progression of your apprenticeship is based on yourself. This is my tube. This is where the actual needle will be put in to sit inside. This tip is essentially where the pigment kind of sits, and the needle comes out of this very tip here. So you just want to make sure that that's nice and secure in the top there, so it doesn't flutter around. I've got these tiny little elastics. These 2 little notches right on the tops here. So that basically just gives a little bit of tension. Otherwise, your needle is gonna just fly around in the tube, because you want it to have a little bit of tension so it shoots out straight, opposed to just like all over the place and potentially snagging on the skin or anything like that. You're just gonna take your grapefruit. You're gonna rest the side of your hand on it. Drop your machine down, and you want to run your machine before you do anything. And you just want to.
Wow.
The amount of memorial tattoos I've done for people, the amount of, turning a new leaf tattoos I've done for people. It's just such a humbling experience, and it's so cool that something that I did as a hobby for most of my life has now turned into something that people cherish and love. That is so awesome to me, to be able to be a part of that process.
I think that's pretty good.
Oh, you did a pretty good job.
Lindsay, thank you so much for teaching me all about your incredible career today.
You're so welcome.
Once again, I'm Brian for Career Trek, reminding you that this career could be yours.